Okay, so I got some bad news and some good news.
What is that?
The bad news is we're not done with this game yet.
No, I'm still having fun. What's the good news then?
This is the last part of the playthrough.
Woo!
So, as the last part of the playthrough, as we explore Foxington, the post-game world that you unlock by, well, beating the game. And our goal here is that we're going to prove ourselves to be good guardians, just like our sister, so we need to earn 3 trophies, which we can earn by going through 3 sets of challenges hosted by her fellow guardian members.
Yep.
Oh, all right then.
We're actually going to get to see them strut their stuff, and hopefully train Lucky to be the true Guardian Swiftail he was meant to be.
So here's the annelid.
Should be clear that my puzzles are superior and
Sorry about that.
So she houses the puzzle corner?
Yes, and all of the puzzles are basically a return to the very finicky ball rolling puzzle. This one in particular kind of threw me for a loop because it has a mechanic that I kind of forgot about when I was recording. You see those green buttons on the sides?
Yes.
Hitting those buttons kind of determines the tilt of this area. Like when you hit one button, it will automatically stay tilted in one direction, and you have to use like the buttons and their auto tilts to, peruse around this area to get all the coins.
Yep.
Interesting.
okay.
I'll see the hot dog is like right there, but I assume it's because the spikes are right there as well.
Yep.
Yes, it is. Well, that's also another thing that I'll bring up. In every single one of these, I'll just call them Guardians Trials. In every single one of these Guardians Trials, you will see a hot dog or a bucket of hot dogs hidden somewhere throughout the level. If you collect all of them, you get a new costume.
Oh, okay.
Ah, okay.
And those are the big MacGuffins.
Well, they're not like big MacGuffins. Like, you don't need them to really get the secret ending of the game. Like I said, you only get if you want that extra costume.
Gotcha.
Okay, well,
I mean, that's pretty much the clarification I was hoping for when we were getting ourselves into this. But, yeah. Annalyn, as far as I'm aware, yeah, no, she does host the ball puzzles again. I do believe she also hosts the sliding puzzles as well. Like, again, she's pretty much she's the smart one of the group, so naturally she'd be the one hosting all the brain-taxing puzzles we've done all across the game.
Actually, I'm gonna say you're partly wrong on that, because Foxington has no sliding puzzles.
Really? I could have sworn they added in a couple more.
No, I went through the entire game for you guys. I believe I would know.
Okay, well,
fair
enough.
You know, it really does go to show how long it's been since... Actually, it's funny, too, considering it wasn't even that long ago when I replayed this game through Xbox Game Pass.
I mean,
So,
either way, though,
I
this
mean-
has still been a fun little romp, all things considered.
Yeah.
Here we go.
If it's not immediately obvious, ladies and gentlemen, my brain's like half here, like the other half of it's literally multitasking with other things at the given moment, so pardon me if I'm a little quiet throughout this session.
It's all
No
good,
worries,
it's
man.
all good.
You're
there we go.
good.
Got all the coins.
And also, for, like, a bit of context, we also finished recording another thing not that long before we recorded this. So, well, Jem's already explained his case, but I feel like Logan might also be still semi-fatigued from that thing that we were recording, so...
Well, if I were to explain it in the politest terms, it's more so the fact that we got we hammered the hot dog onto the sign. Anyway, the best way I can describe it is that there's a momentum. There's a sense of momentum that you have when you're recording, and like if we're doing like recordings back to back, like it's a little bit easier. Like say like even if we're doing say like AI the Somni Files again, like with those longer sessions, like if it was like stop and then wait an hour and then do it again, like yeah, no, that would be a little more taxing on us. But like so oh boy, so if we have that momentum there, like no real biggie. The problem was that we ended that recording. And then I want to say we went about an hour and a half, and by that point I was unfortunately like that. By that point, I was unfortunately like I was starting on some other projects. I was working on some audio stuff. So when it came time to get back into recording, my head was like, okay, I gotta get back into that headspace. I gotta get back into the recording, mind frame, and that's why sometimes it can be a little, I wouldn't say taxing, but just a little bit, rusty.
I get you.
And I guess the more I stop and think about it, I guess now it would make sense that the majority of her, like all of her Annalyd's stages would be the ball puzzle, considering, like, compared to the sliding puzzles, there were, like, far less of these. So I guess they had to fill in the gap somehow.
Yeah, I think there were only, unless I'm mistaken, up to this point, I think there were only like 2 or 3 in the main campaign.
There were 4. There were like
Okay.
two. There were two in every world that featured them.
Gotcha.
Then they also, I think in one of the lore,
Whoa, 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 whoa.
I think in one of the lore loading screens, or in even her dialogue, I want to say the other reason is because technically this shrinking ball device thing was stolen from Annelid by the Professor Cat lady.
Yeah, from a test. Yeah.
And yeah, it was. That is something that I'll admit. So there was a slight bit of recording chicanery in a sense of, like, I accidentally skipped over, like, her first bit of dialogue, like, when you first meet her. Because the thing is that, like, when I started recording this, I had to stop in the middle of the first puzzle because I had to do something for my folks real quick. So I figured, oh, I'm not that far into it. I could just, like, do a reset and pick up, and it wouldn't really matter that much. But apparently, like, the autosave on this is so, subtle in its detail that I was able to save that, like, oh, you technically did have her first dialogue with her already.
Now you know how I felt when we had to redo that one Mario Odyssey session, which did feature Luigi for the first time, and his first lines was literally, "Hey bro, you'll save the princess again? Great! But enough about that, check out my game!"
I know, which
It's
was
like,
funny.
yeah, that's nice. Hey, you want to play with balloons?
Hey, how do you feel about that? I don't know, that's the best Luigi I can do right now. I'm still sick.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just joking saying I'm still sick, but god damn it, I am recording more. I gotta get back into that, on that gravy train of enjoying myself doing these fun little things. Sorry, continue.
I mean, you know what? Not for nothing, considering that Martinet's Luigi voice, especially nowadays, kind of like upped the nasally texture in his voice, I feel like what you did isn't too far removed from how he would sound now.
Yeah. Nah, that's a little too much. Okay, that's how we get back. Oh, jeez.
Now that just sounds like Luigi.
Yeah.
So back to the game. Just for actually, no, James, you were gonna say something because we were talking about the Odyssey thing. You had to redo that one time, and then other sessions.
I don't know what else I was gonna say beyond that.
Okay. Hype. In terms of these ball slime puzzles, because I know when we were doing them live, there was at least one or two that really gave us some grief in that final world.
You're welcome, by the way.
Difficulty-wise, how would you compare them to the ones in Foxington?
I'll say the ones in Foxington, there were some that I had to redo, like, once or twice, but honestly, as long as you're, like, very careful and observant, they're actually not that hard compared to some of the late-game puzzles of the base game.
Okay.
Which is weird, because I honestly didn't feel like the ones in the base game were, like, that.
There was one in particular that I still think was kind of rough. It was the one where there were like those little, very teeny ramps in the ground, and it was very hard to tell because everything was textured the exact same on the floor.
Yeah.
So I would just be sitting there going, "Why is hype falling? Why is this part so slow?" And it's because it's because that part was textured differently.
So I guess while we're on the subject of the post game levels, I have a question for you guys.
What's your question?
What do you like on your hot dogs?
I
Ketchup
don't like
mayo.
hot dogs, good sir. I'm sorry, but I can't stand the taste of them.
So are you more into burgers then, or?
Funny story. I don't like burgers either. I am
Then what
a
do you-
I am a chicken girl. I love
okay.
chicken.
You say that. I was honestly going to ask, are you a total vegetarian?
I used to
Nah.
be like I used to be like a very picky eater, and
Ooh.
technically I still am. But I've been more
I am too.
adventurous. I've been more adventurous with foods lately, and I've come to learn that chicken is my go-to favorite poultry.
Well,
I mean,
I mean, in all fairness, white meat is better for you than red meat.
Oh, it
is true.
definitely is.
Yeah.
And, like, honestly, I can't say I blame you, Jordan, because I'm kind of a picky eater myself, and it's only, like, just... Not, like, super recently, but it's only, like, as I get older, as I start to get a little bit more bold with my taste. Like, I only just recently realized that I actually do enjoy myself a good steak.
Steak is very. I mean, it's all. To me, it all depends on how you have
Or
it
the
prepared.
guardrails are pretty
Yeah.
efficient.
That's good. It's all about how you have it prepared.
Steak is okay in my opinion, but I like chicken or what's it called? Pork loin?
Pork loin
loin?
is good, like pork
No,
chops.
pork
or-
loin. Pork chops. That's what I was thinking of. Yeah, those are really good.
Pork chops are good.
Especially with marsala sauce.
Yeah, pork chops are alright. I will say, going back to James's hot dog question, if I were ever in the mood for it, I'm just a basic baby and just stick with ketchup and maybe cheese. But I'm kind of in a similar boat with Jordan in a sense of, like, hot dogs aren't exactly my go-to favorite meat. Like, if they're available, I'll partake in some, but I would rather have anything else.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay.
What about you, Logan?
Well, in terms of, like, meat, in terms of food stuff?
What do you like on your hot dog?
Oh, I already said ketchup mayo.
Okay.
Actually, you know what? I remember another thing that I like. We don't have it like super often, but when we do, I actually like it. I also like it when the titular Frankenfurters are also wrapped in bacon.
Ooh, that does sound good.
Oh, jeez.
Okay, so what did we unlock? We hit that switch. Oh, I see, on the bottom.
One moment,
Yes, down
please.
there.
I'll be right back.
Oh,
No worries.
But, I will say, though, when I was on vacation... I will say, though, that when I was on vacation, I did try this one steak that, oh my god, it was actually phenomenal. It was this five-star restaurant, and I'm trying to look up what it was called. It was like, I'm looking at what it was called. It was, they poured, like, this cheese sauce over it. I think it was called Bernaise, maybe? I'm looking it up now.
That does sound familiar.
Yes, that's it. Steak Bernaise sauce. So it's basically like a cheesy, thick, like creamy sauce that like it just melts right over. I think I have a photo of it somewhere, but just like the thing was like drenched in it, but it was like just the perfect like tenderness. Sorry, I'm getting hungry now. Shit,
I was about to say, like, I already, it's like, devil damn it, Logan, I already had dinner not long ago, and you're making me hungry.
I went to
my
Red
God.
Lobster. I don't need any more food.
And funnily enough, our steak talk, I actually did have steak for dinner.
Funny. Also, by the way, guys, I accidentally clicked away from the video on Discord. Can you tell me what the timestamp you're on?
Oh, I'll say right now, I'm surprised that you didn't just open another tab that way. It doesn't. Do
I
that.
didn't think about that.
No worries.
Okay, I'll tell you what. When you open it up, let me know. I'll tell you when we get to 12:15. Okay.
12:15. Okay.
5.
Okay.
4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you.
All right. Now on to, I'll say this particular ball challenge. It did intimidate me a bit at first because of all the bumpers all throughout it. But it also kind of falls into like the critique I had a while ago when it comes with these ball puzzles. It's like, especially with this one, I was like, as long as you're patient and like very careful, it's actually not as hard as it looks.
I mean, it looks like there's a.
Oh, jeez.
I mean, it looks like there's. I mean, first of all, thank God they, wow, that coin's hitbox is generous. Well, first of all, thank goodness if you fall off, it doesn't reset your progress. Number one, number two.
It only resets your progress if you lose a life.
Right, and number.
Oh,
and
no.
number two, the fact that at the very least, like this coin placement is not as mean as the other one was. Like here, they're on fairly straightforward, solid paths that don't lead you into spikes or having to like hug a wall just before two other large spikes. Like this makes sense. Now I'm curious how you're supposed to get to that big coin up there.
Oh, you see that gate above it? You're
Yes.
supposed to hit the switch to open it up.
Which
Which
I believe is right atop that lineup of springs on the top right.
Okay, so that means if we just land
Or
on,
maybe,
oh that's right.
or maybe it was the bottom left. I don't know.
No, I think we hit both of them and
There you
then.
Oh yeah,
Yay!
then they both need to be pushed.
Ah, but then more coins appear. Okay, so easy does it. Yeah, okay. Otherwise, I think this is the last ball rolling puzzle, I think.
There's one more.
Okay. So, otherwise, how about this? As far as post-game content stuff goes, what do you think about Foxington? Like, do you think it's kind of... Do you feel like it drags things a little bit, or do you think it's a good amount of extra content at the end?
I'd say it's fine for the most part. There are a few levels that I had a noticeably miserable time with, but it's only like the 2 levels out of the, like, I think 15 or 16 that are here. So I think on average, it's perfectly inoffensive.
Okay.
And that hot dog shall be missed.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, hot dog.
Careful with the
I shall go
bees.
more. I shall go Lid's family now.
All right. There we go. Head over heels. Where it all will end.
Now it's time for our last one. What do you guys think of Pachanko?
Of what now?
No.
I think it's a ripoff.
I believe it is. I believe it is just one step short of gambling. Oh boy. Well, I mean, at the very least, there's actual. Oh, so you cannot go down the center. Okay.
Nope.
I mean, at the very least, I'll say that there's actual physics involved. My biggest complaint with the Mario Sunshine pachinko, which yes, James, you're gonna have to potentially get ready for that sucker again.
Yeah, I'm already dreading how many attempts that's gonna take.
My biggest complaint about the Mario Sunshine pachinko is that it lies to you. There's like very little physics. Like when you hit that spring that launches you upwards, the trampoline, you are locked in you're locked in this invisible arch that you can't like directly escape, and that I think is a bit of a pain.
It's kind of like how in Sonic Adventure, and I think I don't remember Sonic Adventure 2 did this as well, but basically there were like these invisible flags that you have to cross, where Sonic immediately the characters just move in a particular trail that, like, most especially obvious with, like, the traditional loop-de-loops. Like, that's all in a, that's all those automated trails that you can like, oh, geez.
Wow.
Nice.
Whoa.
Okay.
Well, there's your way out.
Congrats.
But, otherwise, it's like, that's pretty much how they handle the pachinko machines the pachinko machine, or level in Mario Sunshine. It's all, like, these invisible trails that, like, you can find it all you want, but for the most part, you do have to follow it, and it's pretty much... I wouldn't be surprised if that was a level that they were working on at the very last portion of development.
Wouldn't surprise
That
me.
and the Devil Dam Lily Pad escapade.
Yeah, the lily pad. I mean, the lily pad. The biggest problem with the lily pad is primarily two things. One, the long trek you need to make to the pipe that leads to it with Yoshi, and secondly, making the rookie mistake of going inside the warp pipe if you fail that red coin. Trail.
That is especially devious.
It's one of the very rare instances I can think of where Nintendo, like, okay, here's the thing. Trolling you in Luigi's Mansion, that's one thing. Like, oh no, that door's a fake door. You lost 5 health. That is, I want to say, even more so than Lost Levels, that, like, warp pipe thing at the end of the lily pad level is, like, one of the few times where Nintendo has maliciously trolled someone to, like, potentially, like, lose a life in game over after everything else.
I mean, it's already bad enough too that like Mario Sunshine has a couple of instances where like something that shouldn't cause like death ends up killing you anyway. Most especially like say if you're running on the bloopers and you collide with a wall.
Oh, hang on a second. We just got our first trophy and a special guest appearance by the Sax Man himself.
Yo,
How's it going, man? That's your victory.
by the way, is that earpiece real?
That'll be 14 bucks.
Who knows? Wait, where did he go? Who was that strange sardine? Io.
I am mysterious, like the wind.
I am the knight and the saxophone. Anyway, on to our second trial, hosted by our buddy, the Penultimate Warrior.
I heard you made a visit. Yeah, go for it, James. No, James, you need. My throat can't handle it.
Well, the Penultimate Warrior was there when it was... Back in my day, we walked barefoot through hot springs to get to wrestling school. Then everyone got soft. There won't be any touchy-feely self-help. Hoo-ha! Here! Get ready to take a trip to Painesville, brother! Population you!
Oh, so he's like the last Yeti wrestler?
One of the last. Because there are definitely still Yetis around. He's just the last one that embraces combat. Which, speaking of which, yeah, Penultimate Warrior, all of his trials involve combat, as you would imagine. And they are also where you get some of the boss rematches in the game as well. This one is not one of them, though. This is a gauntlet of sorts.
Okay, just some arena fighting.
And it's all televised here in Wrigglemania.
Let's go!
Mania.
All right, sounds good. Any encouraging words for my training? Let's see what he says.
Let's see. As soon as the camera pans back to him, look at that full house that are probably melting to the cinders.
Welcome to the Battle Royale with extra cheese!
Ha.
Chip done whipped up some robotic greatest hitters from the Book of Ages to challenge your fighting skills. Find a way to crush them, and maybe, just maybe, you can become a real guardian. Get ready for 4 rounds in the squared circle, brother!
That's 4 rounds of playtime.
And that one's
Later.
still green. Also,
And I can already tell you this probably took you a few tries.
Actually, it only not counting the one that I have here. It only took me the 1 try. This second try is the one that I got in.
okay.
Okay.
I
So it
can-
just took you a try.
I can see it
Yeah.
gets a little. I can see it can get a. How to put this? Especially with what you had previewed me with the boss fights, is the trickiest part of Lucky's Tale combat is when things get a little claustrophobic with how much they'll toss in one little area.
Definitely.
So that was round 1.
And look at that. Lucky earns the spoils.
Excuse me.
Okay.
Also, all
on to
the-
round 2, the poor thing.
Oh my gosh!
Please
So
help me
sorry.
here. I can barely survive in the heat.
Please let me go. And oh geez, now we gotta deal with cannons and stage obstacles.
I am the death's cold embrace.
Good God, I wish it was cold embrace, because I'm smothering like something else. I'll tell you what, Jack.
Like hot summer morning. Also,
If one buddy whoever the thing, I'd be the one inventing it, sugar. Please help.
and I guess so hype. From ranked from Sonic. Okay, how to put this? Ranking from Sonic Generations to Sonic 06 / Unleashed. Oh, dear.
Please help. The sun's on fire.
Yeah, Sonic's on fire. I was gonna say ranking
Back down
from
you go.
What?
ranking
Now,
from
where are you asking?
ranking from Sonic Generations to Sonic Unleashed / 06. How reliable is the tracking on Lucky's homing attack?
Well, it's not like a straight-up
Oh,
homing
nice.
attack. Like, I'll say it's about as reliable as Mario's air-quote homing attack in the first Galaxy game. Or, actually, I say first Galaxy game. Did that, like, homing ground pound also come back in Galaxy 2?
Yeah, I was in both games.
It's like where you
Okay.
spin into a ground pound, right?
Yes.
I'd argue it's more reliable just because it doesn't take as long to activate.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Just so long as you're close enough to the enemy, it will land.
Right. Which, props to them for
Whoa.
doing that. Oh my gosh.
Again, it's a very useful speedrunning tactic, assuming you want to go and want to do that.
I assume our plan is that after we finish our revisits of Sunshine and Galaxy 1, we may finally attempt Galaxy 2.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that was the plan.
I mean, pretty much, because I could use all that practice.
Fair enough, fair enough. If only there's a way to play it on Switch.
Yeah.
Oh, shit! I'll say we
Oh,
got a
my
checkpoint, I
goodness.
think.
Yeah, that was a checkpoint.
Poor ma'am. Now, can't we just
And-
let the laser kill them?
No, they're immune to the laser. And this guy, I might be wrong, but I don't remember us fighting a guy like this. He's gonna take multiple hits in order to actually go down.
Oh yeah,
Yes,
no,
for-
he's a new
Whoa!
enemy.
And he has a revenge bullet afterwards.
It thankfully doesn't last.
But yeah, no, okay, yeah, and yeah, you're right. That's the first time I remember seeing this kind of enemy ever. It definitely.
Yeah, I don't remember if it's used anywhere else.
Nope,
believe
I
it
definitely
is.
don't remember that revenge bullet from anywhere else.
It
Keep
might have
moving.
been, for all I know, it might have just been a scrapped enemy. They had an excuse to. Because remember, Foxington was originally post-launch DLC.
Oh, really?
Right.
Huh.
Alongside, I want to say it came out just after Gilly Island.
Well, again, props to them for adding more onto this game to, keep it going, and again, just making this content ultimately accessible to everybody. Beat this
Whoa, you're the mayor of Pain Town now, little brother.
Yay!
Aggressive posturing aside, you earned this. Oh yeah!
That's not.
I will
till
admit
the
I'm
commercial.
surprised that, like... Because I was surprised that I went through that entire phase without getting hit once.
Oh, we already got a medal, but I assume we need
Yep.
all of them for the trophy.
Yes, we
Yes.
do.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, it didn't get its own special reward, but you also got medals from the puzzles as well, and that's your big objective. To get the trophy from each one of the Guardians, you need to get all their medals from all the challenges that they host for you.
Well, all
Yep.
right then. Let's see. We gotta go.
Now we're going to be going to our rematches.
Samurai
Gotta
Jack.
get back in time.
I told those nerds in R&D to remix those soft-serve boss fights you've already been through into something worthy of the Guardian. If you thought chess was tough the first time around, you might need to hit the treadmill before trying this one out.
Now I do like hard boss challenges. I do like the idea of boss fight refights, especially ones as hectic as this one, according to what Hype has shown me.
Well, that is something I'll say. Like, this boss doesn't get that much harder. The only reason that you see a cut there is that Again, I want to save you guys as much TDM as I can, and basically make it so that, like, every attempt that you see of every one of these challenges is pretty much the attempt that I got right off the bat. Or at the very least for these. Like, for chips, it's a little bit harder to skirt around it, but I tried my best to cut out as much fat as I can, because I know at this point you guys kind of want it to end.
I'll say this much for when we get to them. Chip is pretty much the Guardian of the three that provides the most unique content.
Oh well, I'm looking forward to that. And I'll say that like don't worry about it. Like the most egregious was the final boss, and understandably, like as far as like little itty bitty children's games go, the stakes involved. The stakes involved with the final boss and the level of punishment and the lack of forgiveness if you take even like one bit of damage over that like 5 to 7 minute long fight, it is a little rough.
Logan, I love you, brother, but you don't have to make excuses for me.
I'm telling it like it is.
I mean, I'd still say, as far as Papa Jinx is concerned, he's about as hard in this game as, say, Bowser was in his second fight in Odyssey.
Yeah, okay, and
that Bowser, I'll still argue, is one of the hardest in the Mario series.
He throws some tricky stuff at you, and the fact
it's one of those things where it's not bullshit. It's not bullshit, or honestly, it's not like super duper hard. But it's a fight where you can't be too cocky.
I love that at that point he's like straight up like he actually just will throw. And in both his second and first fights, I love that he's at the point where now he's just throwing pieces of his castle at you at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pieces
like I know it was definitely
castle. Of World 1-1.
I know it was definitely castle pieces in the first fight. I thought it was something else in the second one.
He did throw pieces of World 1-1 at first, and then he throws golden Bowser
flaming
shells
that are on fire that you cannot punch anymore.
Right.
Right.
Like I knew one of them was flaming. I just didn't remember what specifically was on fire.
Yeah, no, that's right.
Whoa.
Easy does it. And
again, a sequel to that game would be nice.
Yeah.
Nah,
a sequel to this game would also be nice too.
Oh, nice. Please keep us hovering.
Yeah, don't mind me. Don't mind me defying gravity. It's merely a flesh wound.
Bye, Tess.
Whoa, that was impressive, little dude. You're like a localized natural disaster. Watching that made this old warrior want to cry a little.
But not this man.
To the max!
Please give me some tissues. I'm about to ugly cry.
You go right on ahead, little brother Tear.
Get back in there.
Oh, man.
Oh, I heard that pretty laugh. How are you, Jordan?
I'm doing okay, just watching all the madness. And I wanted to say that robot Tess, her hips were wiggling like fierce.
They went crazy.
I mean, she was mimicking Tessa's movements to a T.
Alright, here we go.
Buttons and Fluffy, round 2.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see if you can take down those two numbskulls again, with a twist, and lots more jumping.
Well, let's see then.
Yeah, that's only
didn't
like
quite get
that's
my
honestly
nose
the
out.
only. Yeah, that's honestly like the only big twist that you have with this fight. The fact that they do throw out a bunch more obstacles that require you to be more nimble on your feet. Otherwise, it's really not as hard as the previous version.
Yeah.
Are these the only two boss fights?
Yep.
Aww.
Yeah, no further love was given to Bittens or, what was the, Meowmalade.
Meowmalade, Mittens, not even like the big boss himself as like a final like ultimate challenge.
Not even Papa. To be fair, Papa Jinx was already kind of a pretty tricky devil in his fight anyway, so I guess they figured making that even more harder would be it would be stretching it a bit.
Actually, in hindsight, I'm also trying to think to myself, what was in Odyssey? In Odyssey, what was the reward that you would get for fighting Bowser that second time, that second picture frame?
I don't think you really get anything after that. I want to say that's how you get your postcard.
Yeah.
Maybe. Oh, that's right. And then, because I know you get the hat on the castle for, I think, getting all the...
You get the hat on the castle for getting every one of the moons.
The moons you can get legitimately anyway. I don't think it doesn't count you maxing it out from the shop.
Right.
Yeah.
No, because you can, as we've learned, you can buy between the shop and Toadette. You can get more than a max of 999. But yeah, it's like filling out your journal of every like available like location moon.
Which does also include Toadette's mood, so take that into consideration.
Jump like crazy.
There's a reason why as much as I do think Mario Odyssey is one of the best 3D Marios out there, there's a reason why its whole Moon Collection thing is almost about as infamous as collecting all the Korok seeds.
It's once again say not as bad as Crash 4, but it is still something where I will say that the best experience with Odyssey is if you're just going for the straight like 124 moons. I think you need in order to beat the game.
500.
Mm-hmm. Well, to get to the darker side. Like once you beat the darker side, I think like you're pretty much like that's about it.
Like that, I would argue is where the game is essentially complete. Because after that, it's mostly like, granted, sure, maybe there's a lot of the more interesting moons you might have missed, but otherwise, that's pretty much my stopping point.
But yeah, beyond that, like, still some of the most satisfying platforming. I wish I hope they do more with that engine. I don't know if I mentioned this yet, but there is there's a Kaizo-like mod for Odyssey that I think this guy Small Ant was doing, where I go down with the ship. Where
Yes, you're on fire, but not in a bad way. You show that boss who's boss. You.
Yay!
Also, I can definitely tell by this point,
the Funky Hash.
Funky Hash was starting to seep into your hot dogs.
Well, just because I blame
I
blame all the oil in the background. It's like whenever it rains, you're coating it. Anyway.
All right, our second trophy.
Seminarino?
You called?
Let me serenade you.
Also, unless I'm mistaken, I think he drew abs on his stomach.
Nice.
And I was gonna say, Joey, did you know that fishes can somehow apparently grow soul patches?
You don't say.
I'm so pumped that you want to join our super team. There's nothing more satisfying than adventuring with your AFFs.
I'll say right now, I think this guy's supposed to be,
He's a Richard Simmons parody.
Richard Simmons, that's it.
I mean, my name is we can be AFFs forever. That's my name for uncontrollable excitement.
This is the part where unfortunately I have to be like, sis, why is half of your team consisted of these big burly men? I get lonely, okay?
I get lonely.
Listen, you know how I had dating issues back in high school, and
These people understand me.
You know, come to think of it, we have what was the worm's name? Adalid and the Penultimate Warrior representing races we've actually come across. Chip, for all intents and purposes, is like the sole exception.
Yeah.
Yep. And also taking a slight detour from the challenges to show off this little area here.
What a nice area. Well, I think that's cute. And there we go. Lots of monies in case you're really.
Wouldn't it be some shit if the arcade there would actually allow you to actually play the very original Lucky's Tale?
Like in the
Man,
VR
wouldn't that be
setup?
something?
Bonus.
Yeah, like I got a new costume. Yeah, no, we know. Can we finally dress as the Penultimate Warrior?
You could. I didn't think of doing it myself, sadly enough.
Nah, you're fine. Let's see what we got. So there is the
Whoa.
Penultimate Warrior. Annelids.
Yeah, lids. There's Jinx's outfit.
Wow, we unlocked a lot of... Oh, dear God.
Oh, magic.
Hello, young lady.
I almost forgot about that costume.
Yeah, let's see. I do have enough to buy most of these, so let's go ahead and get some of these out of the way.
Alrighty.
We'll get this, because it looks fancy.
Dapper
I like
young
fancy.
fox.
That fucking mustache, man.
Let's see
Where
what
is
can
the-
combine it with.
Make him look like a real nerd.
I was let's say if you add that.
Oh, jeez.
There, they get the Urkel suspenders. There you go.
I
There.
know
hang on.
fairly
And Jinx's
here.
outfit.
Alright, one more thing you can buy. Make it count.
Let's see, what can I...
You just like.
I don't think I got that yet, so we'll go with
get that suit, and now you can't buy
Alright,
any more.
so, what are we gonna mix ourselves up with?
Will you become the Avatar?
Oh, you know what? Here we go.
Oh my
The Avatar.
I will bring unity to the four nations.
All I'm saying is that I am still, unfortunately, kind of bummed.
It's the Hattington of Foxington.
All I'm saying is that I'm still bummed that in Sly Cooper, that like, if they're like, where do we go? It's like, show more of his ancestors. I like the ancestors. Like, we never got to see the gentlemanly Cooper, or the Cooper
Yeah.
that specializes in vehicles and nothing else. Oh,
I know what you're thinking. Ladders are boring, right? It's time to really step up your game, though, so I went super extra with this one. Never I added a whole set of monsters, deadly spikes, and wobbling slippers for which no corpse shall ever return.
Oh no.
Did you say monsters?
Let's go.
Okay, so basically, what James was saying earlier wasn't too much of a lie. All of Chip's challenges are mainly going to be testing your platforming prowess.
It's pretty much the unofficial sixth world of this game.
Sixth?
Right,
Yeah,
because we've had the likes of Sky Castle, we've had Veggie Valley, we had the Restful Retreat, Gilly Isle, and Hauntingham, or whatever. What was it called?
I think it's
Spooky area.
Yeah.
I think it was Hauntingham.
Okay.
So, and I mean, granted, yeah, Foxington is pretty much its own whole thing, but this is pretty much the vast majority of the platforming you're pretty much accustomed to. That you'll be doing
Rainbow
in this world.
Dolphins!
Right.
Oh, yeah.
No, this whole Chip's whole set piece here is undeniably 80s.
So, and I guess what you're doing is like, in order to complete these and get the medal, do you have to like treat them like a normal level and get like all of the pages and things again?
Oh no, all you have to do is just get to the end.
Oh, so you're just showing off. You're being clever.
And maybe grab a hot dog or two while you're at it.
Ow.
I mean, whoop.
I want to
Does that
say
count?
that counts, but I don't.
It doesn't count.
Oh,
Damn
it needs to be swung.
You drowned
gotta-
all your hot dogs!
You
Well, that
gotta
check-
and now they're all soggy.
Well, with that checkpoint, you could
And
in
covered
theory,
in
just jump.
whatever this water is made out of.
I mean,
Cold.
I could in theory, but do I really want to waste the time?
Dude, now,
really.
do you answer me this important question? Do you get to dress up as a hot dog?
It's either as a hot dog or you get to dress up as the clothing vendor.
What? Show us the answer, future me.
I'm looking at it right now. Well, I'm looking at it right now. I don't want to wait that long.
Okay, fair.
Well,
Well, I mean, you can show it. I just want to. Whoa. Reward for all hot dogs. And also, I'm sorry. I'm positive that there are people who like it. I'm just not a fan of mustard. And
Yeah, I don't care for mustard.
I'm not too big on mustard either.
I only like honey mustard, not regular mustard.
I mean, mustard in itself has an interesting history. Like, the stuff that makes mustard does have a very interesting history. Like, it's super versatile when you really look into it.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Like, you get cauliflower with it. I want to say you get some other type of veggie with it, and you also get mustard. It's like, again, one of the most versatile veggies you'll ever come across in the food kingdom.
yeah.
Interesting.
Just a shame I don't care for any of it. Try again.
I can't gasp like that.
Where were you there for me then, Chrome Hawk?
Do not cry for me, for I am already bred.
Don't cry for me, Argentina.
Please,
Did you say Margentina instead of Argentina?
Yes.
Yeah, because that's part of the line.
Oh.
Now, I am liking this creative use of ladder in here.
Yeah.
That's the whole gimmick of this. Finding fun ways to use ladders.
Now, difficulty-wise, would you say these are some of the hardest levels?
They definitely require the most precise platforming out of all the levels.
Okay. Uh-oh. Oh, geez,
So I'm
stay
not
low.
chopped liver over here, Logan. What do you get for all the hot dogs?
Oh, I couldn't find it.
Oh. Well, then I guess I'll have to boot up my own save file and show you guys.
Yay!
Because, yeah, no, I did 100% complete this game when I first got it.
Well, there you go.
I mean, it's not that hard.
It's still a fun game that is worth your time and support.
Yep.
So...
Okay,
I ain't
next one.
afraid.
Ooh, down here.
I
Yeah.
ain't afraid of no ghost. Ha! We were thinking
Well, actually, if I'm not mistaken, this is also one of the levels out of all of Chip's levels. Oh,
Hi there, I'm Jim. Chip asked me to help you out with this truly outrageous obstacle course. You played Follow the Leader, right? We gotta move with synergy, get it?
Yes.
Flip that switch when you're ready, and try to keep up with me. It's showtime!
It's showtime!
I will say, out of all of Chip's levels, this is one of the two that
Oh my.
I don't really like all that much.
I thought it was
can
gonna
see
just.
why.
I thought it was gonna be just follow her path and just but this is like so she reveals crazy platforms.
Yeah, she's the one that's holding the ghost lantern. So yeah, no, like you have to be very quick on the draw.
Also, those platforms I was riding up, rookie mistake. You cannot jump through them. They are completely solid.
Oh my. Also, it looks like when you even if you're not digging, these are just time sensitive platforms. My goodness gracious.
Yep, they are.
So which of these levels would you say is the most like the Champion's Road of this game?
I don't know which one I would say is like full-on Champions Road, because like Champions Road is an instance of there's a bunch of like, you know, intense platforming puzzles left and right all in a row, whereas this one they're just a little bit more segmented.
That, and there's also checkpoints in these levels, so
That is also
they're that you know, generous.
Haha, that was a riot, wasn't it? This next part is a real stinger, but I bet you had that kind of pizzazz needed to set it through.
Also, sorry,
Before I go there,
yes.
the Hortendogen is up here.
Okay, the Frankenfurten.
Also, what were you going to say, Logan?
I was saying sorry earlier. I wasn't laughing at like I wasn't laughing at your laugh. I was laughing because it reminded me of a clip from Cow and Chicken.
Which one?
The one when it was the whole episode when they went to the red guy to replace Chicken's beak.
Oh, the one where he was getting the fake lips?
Yes. And just before that, his receptionist is like, Dr. Honeybottom, the crying man is here for his crying surgery. And like she does this like nerdy little laughter herself before she just leaves.
I keep forgetting that Cow was a girl.
I mean, I don't blame you, because it's very hard to tell considering Charlie Adler voices both of them and the red guy.
Yeah, that's true. If you can live through that, then you're totally ready to join up. I gotta jet up. But I truly hope we meet again someday.
Take care.
I hope we don't.
You're fine. How many times does this level take you?
It definitely took a lot. I lost track, but it took a lot.
I lost track after 59.
Aw.
Okay, maybe not that many, but still.
Anyway.
But yes, the other thing I was thinking of was that I'm a road to nowhere. I don't like this level.
We're on
road
the
to nowhere?
Or is it the high
Don't
road?
worry, don't worry. This one isn't too hard. Like definitely a lot of jumping around, but it's not as hard as that one.
Okay. But yeah, no. The thing I was remembering was that I'm glad we got to watch that Prince and the Pauper short from Disney, because I guess like that now explains why Charlie Adler was weasels and stuff, because my first exposure admittedly to Charlie Adler as the weasels was in this old Mickey, I think I've talked about before. It's called Mickey Saves the Day computer game, 3D animated, and
Yeah, I remember that.
has most of the cast I don't know who voiced Pete in it. It may have been the same Pete.
I want to say it was
Prince of the
Jim.
Pauper. I don't know.
No, it wasn't Jim. It wasn't Jim.
Yeah, it was a deeper voiced guy.
I think Corey voiced him there.
I'm gonna look that up. But I just know that Charlie Adler was once again one of the weasels in that. And again, my other thing is that I still remember it being very humorously insulting. Was that that was also the game that. There were no subtitles because games couldn't support that at the time. But of course,
which is kind of bull considering we have the likes of Monkey Island.
Agreed. And by all accounts, it should have still had them. But anyway, so there are no subtitles. But Donald Duck still has dialogue, and so unfortunately, so the part where I find it is so hilariously insulting, oh boy, is that they basically have to treat Donald Duck like Lassie throughout the entire game. Because, like, sure, Donald Duck can have dialogue. I mean, he's Donald Duck. He can still talk. But literally after every single line of dialogue, and with no other character do they do this, after every line of dialogue that Donald Duck says, other characters have to repeat what he just said, like, "What's that, boy? You said, gotta go down to see Professor Von Drake? Okay." And even though he had just said that.
Don't ask me how I did that, even
I don't know how you did that.
I mean, if it works, it works.
Uh-oh.
Out of my way! Out of my way!
Jeez,
I gotta get that medal!
Please let them be healthy, or just run before we, What are you doing, What are you doing, Hype? Why'd I say James? James has no control over these scenarios. He's
Just gave me
blind.
hot dogs.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, hot dogs! A whole bucket full of them.
But aren't there other hot dogs in the other levels, or is it only in Foxington that you can get hot dogs?
Only in Foxington.
It's pretty much this world's primary collectible.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, Corey Burton was Pete, as well as Von Drake.
Okay.
Oh yeah, he's been Von Drake for the
I like him
since-
as Von Drake.
Yeah, he's great as Von Drake.
Yeah, he's really fun.
Even to this day, he still voices him with no problem.
Was he the first voice of Von Drake?
No,
Not the first.
Oh no.
Okay.
Okay, real quick.
Oh.
I gotta talk about this level real
Under
quick.
Yes.
pressure.
You remember-
Pressure.
You remember that one level in the forum area where there was a section where you pretty much had to stealth by the worms that were taking watch?
Yes.
Yeah.
Imagine that gimmick, but it's an entire level of that gimmick.
Oh
Yeah, so you pretty much have to burrow throughout a good majority of this. Like, yellow floors like this are safe, but otherwise, you have to stay burrowed through the whole thing, and if you get, like, unburrowed for even a second, like whether it be, like, accidentally, like, swapping terrain or whatever, you have to start at the last checkpoint you activate.
Okay, well, I mean, still neat idea. I still hate that your tail has a hitbox on everything.
no. Yeah, it's
This
stupid.
does it? But
Well,
okay.
it is a big bushy tail.
And I mean, fair enough. This is one of your biggest mechanics in the game. I understand that there needs to be at some point a master exam on how to dig properly.
Yep. Although, I'll share a similar sentiment with Hype because, especially around here, they expect you to keep digging while there's moving platforms.
Oh, and that's right. I don't think you can ever stay. I don't think you can ever stay. No, okay, you can stay still while digging, but you can't stay motionless.
Right. You'll keep moving a little bit while you're underground.
Oh boy. Okay, so
And it's the problem of, like, trying to, like, stay onto these platforms while you're still technically moving.
right. That's
Probably
what
why
I'm saying.
there's that whole circle outline on the squares to give you some wiggle room.
Okay. But yeah, no. The other thing I was thinking of, with Von Drake was the. Oh, jeez, just don't stay too close to them. Was because I was trying to think of who was the original voice of him back when they did that song about all the wonders of color TV.
You want to know the funny thing? That was
Yeah.
actually Von Drake's debut.
Oh yeah. But I just remember loving that. I was like, all right, for everyone who does not have color TVs, just so they don't feel left out, we'll do a little song for them. Great. Okay, cool. That's all for you guys. Now then, let's move on. Just the sass on it. There we
It
go.
was beautiful.
Okay, and this is right here the last section of it, but before we do, let's get ourselves just a few little trinkets.
A bonus.
That happens
Yeah,
sometimes, I don't know why.
way off kilter.
So, okay, now for the final leg of this room. They expect you to do the digging while on these very cylinderly platforms, and you can't go too close to the edges, otherwise you'll automatically be unbarrowed.
I was about to say, I doubt you can dig up a wall, so you need to constantly keep moving with it.
You know, the Halo wasn't quite as big as they said it was.
No, it's kind of this. But who would have thunk? Who would have thunk that the all the Covenant were really after were just a wiry fox?
Yeah,
Well,
if I knew what you guys
they
were
were more
talking
so,
about, I'd
they,
say more than that.
They were more so interested in this book, but
Oh, that's fair. We're talking about Halo. Oh
okay.
gosh.
Ba, 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 ba.
Because of all
what's
these
that?
rings. Those just mines.
Oh, they're mines.
And the camera was trying to show where we were. But we did it.
and we're free.
Yay! You did it!
Hoshin Fifa!
Hassan Fifth. Oh wow.
Okay, well there's I think only one more level left.
Ladies and gentlemen, it should be said, it's stuff like this why I refrained from wearing the clown costume when we were on our way to fight the Lord of Lightning way back when.
Otherwise it
Bun,
just
bun,
looks
bun,
silly.
bun, bun.
Now
It
don't
looks
get
so dumb. It would look so fucking stupid. Yeah, I can definitely see you were very frustrated.
that
with
level must have took a bit. Might as well jump. Dun, dun.
Might as well do.
This one I remember being a little on the tricky side.
It can be, but honestly, compared to that Double Damn Stealth section, I don't find this one nearly as bad. There are some segments I did have to redo, but for the most part, I had an easier time here than I did that last one.
Okay.
That's fair.
So,
I guess you could say this is more or less this game's. Okay, I would say this is this game's Bopopolis, but maybe not to a strenuous degree.
So now, something I noticed that when we were at that hot dog sign, it mentioned there was like a lot of hot dogs, like 16 or so. Like when you collect,
There's one hot dog for every mission.
Okay, I guess what I was asking is sorry, yeah, that I get. That answers my question of I didn't know. I did not know if the buckets of hot dogs counted as more than one.
The buckets are just one. Like, the only time you get a singular one is during the bowl areas.
Okay.
Right, and to be fair, it's like once you once you take down that whole bucket of hot dogs, like once you leave the level, that's when you see the solo hot dog sign, like right smack dab on the level's title.
Makes sense. But I guess, yeah, I mean, I guess we're getting pretty much to the end, and I don't think... I forget if we did our closing thoughts at the end of the last session, or if we were holding off for just this session.
I want to say
we did.
Yeah, we did. I remember.
Okay. Well...
But, I mean, even then, I'll still say, for what it's worth, like, back when this game initially came out in 2017, just as Super Lucky's Tale, like, it was a very cute platformer, but it was unfortunately having to compete with the likes of A Hat in Time, Mario Odyssey, Crash Insane Trilogy.
Yeah.
So it honestly stood no chance against any of those. And not only that, it was also a very simpler game by nature. Like, you didn't have this freeform camera, and, well, let alone all the tech that this newer version of the game has. But years later, they were given the go-ahead to give it another chance, and I'd say they picked a pretty good time to do so, and as a result, it was able to shine better.
I agree.
That's
I think that the timing of this was very good to reach that audience that it may not have had the chance to reach under, the competition.
From what I immediately remember, I want to say this version came out around, I want to say it was primarily announced around 2019, so there wasn't too much competition as far as 3D collectathon platformers were concerned.
I was like, all I can think of is maybe... oh my god, I forgot the name of the game. It began with a K, though, with the Wild Masks, the Donkey Kong-like game.
Oh, Kaze and the Wild Masks.
Kaze and the Wild Masks. That's the only game I can think of that maybe would have, competed
that
platformer.
Was that 2019?
Whoops.
I want to say it was. Or maybe it was 2020.
I'll check. Kaze and the Wild.
Yeah. And this is one of the
Oh,
few
that was
times where I
last
decided not to do it.
Oh,
Yeah.
There's not even a Wikipedia article on that. Oh, well.
Nah, I found it on Steam, though. It was last year. My bad.
Okay, just making sure, because I figured that was a little more recent.
Very good game. I gotta get
Hey,
back
what
to
you were
playing
saying,
that, though.
Steve?
Oh yeah, no, it's pretty good.
Sorry, back to you, Hype.
It's fine. All I was saying is that that's one of the few times I didn't bother with a jump cut, since the place I died wasn't that far from the checkpoint.
Oh, that's good.
I've been there.
Actually, going back to Kaze real quick, I'll still say for what it's worth, that game's pretty good, though I definitely feel like if there's any critique I'd give against it, it feels like there's a little too much untapped potential.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, fair.
the sound. It's like if there's one little extra bit of polish on it, I'm sure that it would be it would have
Polish
been
and a little better care to its world building.
I think so. There's
Because
absolutely
it did
something
try,
there.
it certainly tried, but it barely mattered in the grand scheme of things.
I know. But it's I would love for it to be the next Freedom Planet and everybody's playing
Absolutely.
it and so hopefully they continue more with that.
But speaking of which, I'm definitely looking forward to the sequel coming out next month.
Oh my gosh, yeah, we finally got a release date.
As of this recording.
Oh, and Jordy,
yeah.
I did not know if you had seen already, but we talked about it in our Somnium File session yesterday. We got a release date finally for the Sonic 3 movie.
Oh, yeah. It's coming out in 2 years, right?
Yep.
Not only 2 years, but on the exact same date as when... I don't know if it was either Adventure 2 or 2 Battle. The same year, the same date that was released.
Oh, cool.
And is so important.
Hopefully that won't lead to anything bad. Stomach oranges.
We'll see.
Hopefully not. For me, I'll just say that yes, as he
Well, I
promised.
mean, I lie. Sonic Origins wasn't terrible, but it was very much needing the extra polish. That did not justify its Sonic's birthday release date.
I don't.
Yeah.
Every time they're like, "Oh, we have to get it out because it's the anniversary. This one anniversary. We can't possibly miss it by even a day." It's people understand. Even if it's just update or an announcement news, people are okay with that.
I mean, on the bright side, it looks like it's getting about as much time as it took to get Sonic 2 off the ground. So, I mean, there's that.
Hopefully. But yes,
But there's also still the matter of are we still going to get that Knuckles miniseries?
I believe so.
I'm pretty
but I
sure
think-
we are,
I think
'cause-
that's going to be their plan. Is 2023 we'll have the Knuckles miniseries, and then that'll bite us
Yeah.
until 2024.
Yeah, because they did confirm that the Knuckles miniseries was gonna be leading up to the events of Sonic 3.
Oh,
Let's
okay.
just hope we won't. Let's just hope that the streaming culture doesn't collapse by then.
I think
Yeah,
Paramount
here's
Plus.
hoping.
I think Paramount Plus is holding its own for now. Nothing's going nice. Nothing's going. They're not going insane with it like HBO Max is right now.
Hopefully that doesn't get horribly dated.
Hopefully not. I've been wrong before. God remembers that freaking emotional roller coaster that was the fate of Spider-Man in our Spider-Man commentary.
Man, was that something else.
Because like we had no
It
idea.
was an entire roller coaster of emotion. We went through all the 7 stages of grief.
just to be told, oh, okay, it's
You,
a
know,
good again.
you mean the 7 stages of Spider-Man?
It's just
Yes, one more day, separation anxiety.
It's just all in all, it's just
Maximum
like
Carnage.
no, we don't talk about that game.
Aw.
That was a weird game.
Trust me, Jordan, we have reasons.
It was essentially a more bullshit separation anxiety.
Yeah, I
It's
forget.
funny because I think it came out before. It was literally the first game where separation anxiety was the sequel.
Didn't we?
Yeah, it was.
Were we gonna play one of those games where, or did we already? Because I'm trying to remember. Oh my gosh, because we played
I
this.
think we were. We were considering doing those games for the channel at some point or another, or at the very least, separation anxiety.
Yeah,
But I would definitely say, if for your guys' sanity, put in a cheat code or something like that. Considering it's definitely not one of the more user-friendly beat 'em ups.
Right. No, but the other
Yeah.
thing, I remembered now was wasn't there a game where I was playing as the name war?
Oh, yeah, that was the Spider-Man arcade game you guys
Oh
were playing.
yeah.
And I forget if we
remember
ever
that.
did that fully or not yet.
Oh
We
no, we did.
did.
We did the completion. It was, and it took us by surprise how short it was.
That's right.
Yeah.
Now I remember. I was like, 'cause I was thinking like, oh, I forget. I can't remember us doing a full commentary, but it was like, yeah, actually, it was because we like beat it in like less than I think an hour.
And then
a
it
half.
ended with an entire Venom mosh pit party.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was wacky.
But enough about Jordan's fantasies.
Here it
Excuse
be.
you.
Tell me I'm wrong.
All right.
I'm not going to dignify that answer, good sir.
Actually, yeah, no, I just realized we only have one
left to go.
get.
Oh boy.
And then we shall finally be a guardian, even after we saved everyone's butt, beat Jinx, saved multiple worlds. Now that we've proven ourselves in a 3-legged foot race, now we get to be true guardians. Gosh.
And you ended off with the freaking auto scroller.
Can
Yeah,
you
it's
dig
funny how
it?
things turn out.
However, it looks like this auto-scroller is different in that you can actually change your direction. And actually, this can actually be quite hard, because if you miss that chance to change your direction, you're screwed.
Yep.
Well, I think the only thing you can technically screw yourself out of is a chance to get the hot dog. Otherwise, I feel like they designed it to where you pretty much have to get to the end regardless.
Okay.
I'm not entirely certain of that, but I'll take your word for
Because
it.
earlier it looked like it was totally possible that you could have accidentally jumped over the springs and you'd be forced to continue moving to the left, and thus you would have jumped straight into the pit. Anyway, that's how I could see it being a challenge.
I
anyway.
mean, considering the entire this game's pretty, lenient about the rules of like magic and like what's the word? Fantastical elements. So
Yeah.
I feel like they could have totally done a thing where like maybe during for these auto scrolling sections, Papa Jinx, or just call him it's
Papa
Jinx.
Jinx.
Yeah,
Later.
Papa Jinx.
I don't know why I keep calling. I mean, granted, yes, he is a very caring father and an evil bastard.
Yes.
What was I gonna say? I could totally see it where like Jinx places a curse on Lucky's shoes to where he would constantly keep running until he finds the clover page.
I mean, I could
there's
buy
that.
it. I could buy those little like being cursed, because
It
otherwise,
would make perfect sense.
because otherwise, what's the point? Like, because otherwise, you're right. I guess what is the logic of like Lucky? Why can't you run? Like, the only outhouse for 3 miles is at the end of this quarter. I'll be damned if I'm turning around right now.
Yeah.
And with that, there is the final medal, and we have all of the Guardian challenges completed.
And thus we have officially become a true Guardian.
Thank goodness.
Sure, we didn't get all the hot dogs, but I was starting to feel a little full.
And now that we have all 3 trophies, and one final performance from Santino. He doesn't say his name though this time for some reason.
Call me.
And so it was. Lucky passed the trials with
The worm was a bit of a drama queen.
place as a
She's just so moved.
as if there was any doubt.
Sibling love is the best.
Swiftail, after all.
Mm-hmm.
We come from a long
Well, in this particular context.
been the Yay! Within.
And then,
I know the rest of our
Oh, not yet. It's still got a little ways into it.
oh,
Because we still got one more little image to go through.
slowly rebuilding, and our
oh my
Versus
God,
little
yes, I
Craig.
remembered about Craig. Oh my gosh.
And the little fire guy out by the clothing shop.
The game sure as all get out will not make you forget about Craig.
We'll never forget Craig exists, and
And we have our own statue.
just the
Yo.
beginning of his adventures.
they give him quite the beard.
There is one loose thread, though.
That's right. We still need to figure out what we're going to be doing with Jinx and his kitty litter, because, you know...
I mean, they're already behind bars.
Or are they?
I mean, they're sure taking it better than I'd expect.
Yeah.
Where's the ninja?
I said, or are they?
Actually, yeah, where is...
There.
Oh, wait a minute.
The ninja freed them.
Oh!
But he had a little help.
That's right.
What?
This is Lucas, the brother that we've heard of now and then.
And that's all we're gonna know about him for the time being.
Oh my gosh, one of our Foxington's a rebel.
Yep, he's even dressed like one, too.
So now I'm curious to see. Well, hopefully with that, I mean that now hopefully cinches it that there's going to be a sequel.
There has to be.
Well, it really depends on if the studio has any interest to continue from there, because
you have to, considering that's probably the biggest freaking
tease
cliffhanger stunt that you can pull on a game like this.
Right. Number one and number two. I mean, from what we were talking about, I think New Super Lucky's Tale did pretty well on its re-release.
I'd say it at least did better than the original Super Lucky's Tale.
Right. But that's a story for another time. My dinner has just arrived, so hype. Once again, thank you for showing us this game.
Thank you for everyone that stuck by it, and I guess if it hasn't been said without saying, I hope you enjoyed this little trek through New Super Lucky's Tale, because, and I did talk about it with the guys, I feel like, aside from whatever, multiplayer shenanigans they'll need my help with, I think this is going to be the last, commentary I lead myself for quite a while.
Well. I mean, what if they're post-con?
It was an admirable run.
Alrighty.
But yeah, regardless, thank you all for joining us on New Super Lucky's Tale. Hopefully you're able to find the time to enjoy it yourself if you get the chance, because I do think it is worth it, whatever just happened to us throughout this whole playthrough notwithstanding.
Yeah.
Again, the recording curse is very much a real thing. Take my case and the next thing that'll be going live after this.
Yeah.
I actually was curious as to which one would go first. But anyway, thank you all for watching, and I hope you all have a good evening.
Bye-bye.
Till next time, everybody.